Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cheyenne, and I am a mom, wife, rancher, nurse, and business owner. And I am just on a budgeting journey trying to decrease debt and increase savings. So if any of that sounds good to you, please be sure to give this video a like, comment, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. So today in our video, we are going to be doing a budget breakdown and budget walkthrough. So today we're budgeting with $2,512.30. So I'm going to just go through and walk through each part. So for fixed expenses, we are budgeting $200 for offering. And that is kind of the only fixed expense we're doing this paycheck actually. So next we're going to move over here to, I'm going to put this in variable expenses because this is going to be for a trip that we're taking. Actually, nope, I lied. I'm going to put it up here into savings because we're going to take this trip, but then we're going to use this money pretty soon. So we're going to do $730 for vacation. Okay, so we're going to do $730 for vacation. And we're going to go do a few things. We have some stuff planned. So for like motels and the activities that we're doing. Here we go to see Auntie Heather. All loaded down.
Dust on the saddle, boots worn thin, riding through the plains where dreams begin. The sun sinking low paints the sky in gold. Cowboy's heart carries stories untold. Cattle call echoes, the coyotes cry underneath the blanket of a lonesome sky. The ranch lights flicker, a beacon so faint.
Just giving me his favorite part.
Is a picture I paint.
He's like, hey, move it. You like, move it or lose it.
Where the wild winds roam, a saddle's my pillow, the stars my home, but her shadow rides with me. Her voice in the breeze, unrequited love is a heart's disease. Fence posts stand crooked, the wind's bitter tune. The night brings a chill beneath the pale moon. The fire crackles low, but it don't keep me warm. Not like her touch could, soft and forlorn.
You guys ready to go to the lake? Are you gonna swim or are you just gonna play?
The whiskey
A crazy
don't
pregnant lady
soothe,
in her overalls.
it just burns my soul. Like a brand on the cattle, it leaves me whole.
So we're going to do 730 for vacation. And again, we're doing like we're going to the zoo. We've got some different activities we've got planned, things like food, whatever. That's what we're kind of budgeting for. Okay, so when I take away the 200 and the 730, we're left with $1,582.30. So we're going to do gym remodel, if you will. And we're going to do $500 for that. And then we're going to do $100 in our 100 envelope challenge. We're going to do $100 for Halloween. We are going to do $100 for Christmas. $100 for Thanksgiving. And $100 for gifts. So that leaves us with $782. I'm going to add some money into our emergency fund. So we're going to do $200 here. We're going to do a medical fund, and we're going to do $100. So we should be left with $482. Let me make a note of that. So $482. Okay, so let's see. We've got 2,512 minus 200 minus 200 minus 730 minus 500 minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minus 600. Okay, so we're left with 282. Perfect. So we're going to do our 6 month ahead, and that's going to be 282. So we did 200 for fixed expenses. And that left us with 2,312 to save. Let me just run through this real quick. Perfect. So we are at 0. So we did a total savings of 2,312, and then nothing left over down here for debt. Amazing. All right, so here's the next step that I haven't shared much of yet, and that is breaking down our categories for our cash envelopes. So we are going to now take what we're saving and we're going to bring that over to what we're pulling out of the bank for our cash envelopes. So our offering, I leave in the bank because I do that transfer like through Venmo. So I just leave that in the bank and then transfer it over. So we're not going to add offering on here. We are going to add Halloween. We're going to add our 100 envelope. We'll add vacation, gym remodel, Christmas. I'm just going to add all of these that are on our sinking fund list. Okay, so now that we have our categories listed, then we're going to go through and write how much we plan on taking out for each of those. And then over here, so now that we have our amounts, we go over here to our cash denomination. section. Let me just fold this up here so we've got more room. So now we're going to go to our cash denomination section. So here we're going to write 1, 5, 10s, 20s, 50s, and 100s. And here's where you break down what you want. So for Halloween, I'm going to do 2 50s. For my 100 envelope, I'm going to do a 50, a 20, 2 10s, a 5, and 5 ones, right? 50, 70, 80, 90, 95, 100. Perfect. So I'm going to break that down like so. For vacation, I'm going to draw a line through here, and I'm actually going to leave in the bank. And that's because I don't want to take cash out and have for vacationing. I just want to leave that in the bank. So that I can just use my debit card and don't have a bunch of cash. I probably will bring some cash from like our vacation envelope that I already have, but for the most part, I'm going to do the 730 for leaving it in the bank so that I can just use my debit card. And the gym remodel, I'm also going to leave in the bank. And that's because we've already spent about $300 buying some supplies. And then I want to just leave this $200 in for when we have some other supplies that we need to run and grab. So this is just a note to myself that I have $500 in the bank, and then I can take away whatever I've already spent. And I'll do that on like our tracker where I track all of our expenses. So for Thanksgiving, I'm going to, oh wait, no, we're on Christmas. So Christmas, I'm going to do 2 50s. Thanksgiving, I'm going to do 2 50s. Gifts, I'm going to do 2 50s. Emergency funds, I'm going to just do $200 bills, $100 bill, $100 bill for medical. And then 6 months ahead, I'm going to do 2 50s. And then so that'll be 182. And then I'm going to do 8 20s. So 182 minus 160. So then I'm going to do 2 10s and $2 bills to make 282. And I'm breaking that down just kind of differently because I'm putting in different values per different envelopes. So like in my 6 month ahead binder, I'm working on, so at the beginning of the binder, once this is at least a month funded, I move on to the next one. And then I get this one a month funded, and so on and so forth until I reach the end. Once I reach the end, then I start over and I get a month ahead in each envelope until the goal of this being 6 months ahead. So once this is 6 months ahead, fully funded, then then we'll have to find a new goal, but that's the goal for this right now. And so that's why sometimes my amounts are a little different, because basically just after we've completed some of these other things that we're needing to be completed or have funded these, whatever's left over is what I'm putting towards that 6 months ahead. And that's just trying to get that bulked up in the case of I don't have a paycheck for some reason, I can't work, my pay is cut back, something happens, at least I know we're 6 months ahead on all of our bills to try to figure out what the next step is. So that is the idea behind the 6 month ahead binder, and just kind of funding that. Okay, so once I have the denomination breakdown, then I go through and I total these up. So first we're going to do our total count and then our total value. So we've got $300 bills, then we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 50s. We've got 9 20s, 4 10s, 1 5, and 7 1s. So then we go through and write this out of what these are worth. Okay, and then 300, And then I just go across here and add everything up to make sure that I have my amount, which is 2,312, but then 312 minus the 730 and minus the 500 because we're leaving those in the bank. So we should actually have 1,082 of cash. Okay, so let's add these up. So we've got 300 plus 550 plus 180 plus 40 plus 5 plus 7, and that is 1,082. Perfect. So when we go to the bank now, we're going to take one of our slips that I've made, and I do have these in my Etsy shop, and it just has like a Ranch Mom budgets on it, and then it has your breakdown. So when you go to the bank, you hand them your teller slip plus this, so they know exactly what you want back in cash. Okay, so I'm going to go through and fill this out so that when I go to the bank, I can take my slip and get exactly the denominations that I want. And then we just write our total, 1,082. So now when I take this to the bank, I hand them this with my teller slip, and they know exactly the denominations that I want back. And it's easy for them to see, and then it's easy for me to see what I'm getting. So that is how, after I do my budgeting, I break down what I'm going to do with my cash and where it's going to go. So now, again, if you haven't watched some of my videos, you might be wondering, well, how is all of this going to savings? As of right now, I have a monthly paycheck that's coming in. And so all of that monthly paycheck is going towards my bills. So anything that I'm making after that with some other jobs that I have, that is what's going towards my savings. So once that monthly income is done, which it's going to be done eventually, and I'll kind of talk more about that later, but right now I'm getting that monthly income still. Once that's done and I'm just getting my bi-weekly paychecks, then this is going to look a little differently. It's going to be more of budgeting out our bills based on bi-weekly paychecks and then adding in the extra into our savings goals. So for now, yes, we're saving a lot, but that's because I have multiple incomes coming in. But again, once that stops, and it is going to stop eventually, I just don't know when for sure. So until that stops, we have all of this money that we're putting towards savings. So if you want to message me more about kind of what that looks like or why that's the case or whatever, feel free to shoot me a message and I can talk more about that. But yeah, so this is kind of how we're doing it, how I break down my budget. And let me know in the comments what your savings goals are, what your savings wins are, and be sure to let me know if you have any questions about budgeting by paycheck and breaking down your finances so that every single dollar has a job. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.